President Trump has again threatened Iran, demanding Tehran act quickly to agree a peace deal amid stalled negotiations. Writing on social media, Donald Trump said the clock was ticking and the Iranians should move fast or nothing would be left of them. Time is of the essence. Well, the message came as the president was due to speak with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday. Iranian media, meanwhile, reported the US has failed to make any concrete concessions in its response to Tehran's latest proposal to end the conflict. Our North America correspondent Joel Gunter has more.
There is a sense that negotiations between Iran and America are now very much at a standstill. The two sides have been passing these memos essentially back and forth, trying to find some common ground for negotiations, but making seemingly no progress. President Trump said that he had ripped up the latest Iranian offer after reading just one line. And the Iranian state media reported today that the latest US offer had contained no serious concessions. Now we have this threat from President Trump to wipe out Iran. It echoes that terrible threat he made last month to wipe out the country's entire civilization. And there are reports that both the US and Israel are preparing new attack plans. And we saw this morning a drone strike at a nuclear facility in the UAE. No radiation risk, apparently, and no one blamed, but certainly contributing to a sense of rising tensions. Now, President Trump has made these kind of threats before, of course, and then backed down, but it reflects a really serious and apparently growing frustration that he has been unable to extricate himself from this unfinished and unpopular war with anything he can really sell back home as a win. And there is also no sense at the moment that the economic hardship for ordinary Americans is going away.
Thanks to Joel for that. Now, the price of oil remains elevated. International benchmark crude futures priced now at around $111 a barrel, something that is being felt in economies right around the world, of course, amid rising concerns in energy markets as the summer season with its elevated fuel demands approaches. Sally Bunder is with me here. Hi, Sally. So what do we read into this current price?
Well, I mean, it's just gone below 111, actually. Right. So we basically saw the price of oil spike a little, up some 2% in overnight trading following that post on social media put there by President Trump, because the concern is that the stalemate continues between Washington and Tehran. There is no progress. And once again, the president is putting out some very bold warnings to Iran. And all the mood music that we're getting in financial markets is that we're stuck. The Strait of Hormuz is shut, and therefore oil is not going to be flowing anytime soon. And that's a real concern, and therefore we see the price of oil go up. Interestingly, we've got G7 finance ministers gathering very soon today in Paris. We can bring you some live pictures now of preparations for that. We've seen Christine Lagarde arrive already. She's the head of the European Central Bank. We've seen France's finance ministers speaking to the press. They're the hosts. So it's central bank governors and finance ministers, and they're going to be talking about this very problem. The strait is shut to all intents and purposes, and that has inflationary pressure on their economies, but all economies globally.
And what can they do about it, though? They'll be there talking about it. What levers can they pull?
Well, exactly, Lewis. At the end of the day, they can't reopen that strait. If anybody could, President Trump would have tried that one already. What they're talking about is, OK, what can we do if this is even more prolonged than we expect? What emergency measures can we put in place? What reserves have we got available to us? And what can we do to support households and businesses in the meantime? And as far as Rachel Reeves is concerned, she already promised last week she'd be announcing something this week for help for households and businesses. But I mean, inventories around the world, they're getting lower and lower with every day that goes by. And for some economies around the world, certainly in Southeast Asia, I mean, they're net oil importers, so they are really feeling the pain at the moment. We'll have a lot more on this in business.
Sally, thank you very much for that.